Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be installing the custom X5 headers that I just got back from fabrication. So I'm going to show you guys them right here. So they pretty much just cut them right there, and then this is all custom all the way back to kind of like the downpipe area. So yeah, very stoked to be installing this today. This is another big step in this swap progress thing, but hopefully we get this installed on the car today. I just want to see how they actually fit and just see how the clearance looks from the steering shaft, as that's one of the most critical areas as far as like the headers and stuff go. But let's go ahead and get these headers on the car, on the engine, and let's do a quick test fit, see how they fit on the car. Let's go. Alright guys, so it's been about 2 days since I last recorded on this video. So the reason why I stopped recording is because, again, the headers didn't fit. So I was really just thinking about what I was gonna do. So I had two options: either just send them back and get them fabricated again, or two, just say screw it and just heat them up with a torch and bend them in. And I think I'm just gonna go with option two, because I've already sent them back twice and I don't want this to be a third time. And I've been waiting on these headers for a very long time, and it's just taking too long, and I just really want to move on with this build already and just finish it, because these are some things that are really holding me back from finishing it. So the headers right now currently are not hitting as bad. They are hitting the steering shaft, but I am able to sit the engine in. The first time I was not allowed to bolt the engine in from how bad it was hitting the steering shaft, but now I'm able to actually bolt the engine in exactly where it goes. So just with that, I already know that the headers are hitting just by a little bit, and I think by banging them in with like using a torch and using like a ballpoint hammer, I think we should be able to bend them a significant amount to where I think it should clear the steering shaft. So that's the unfortunate update on the headers. Now that I do have the engine inside the car though, I do want to take this time to actually show you guys my power steering setup. I took some extra time to just start focusing on the power steering stuff and just see how we were gonna get all that stuff done. So I was able to figure out everything from the high pressure line, supply line, return line, and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually remove the entire power steering setup from the engine right now, take it over to the workbench so I can explain it to you guys a little bit better, and just show you guys my power steering pump, supply line, return line, and my high pressure line. And hopefully you guys get a good idea on how I had this done, and maybe you guys could do it on your swap as well. So let's go over to the workbench real quick and I'll show you guys my power steering setup. Alright, so here's my full power steering setup. So we'll start off with my power steering pump. So this is an M60 power steering pump. I have an M62, so I'm just running this M60 power steering pump on it. This is a custom high pressure power steering line that I had made by a hydraulic shop, and then later on it was tweaked up by one of my friends. He was able to add this 90-degree bend on it. Before, I just had it straight on both ends, and then I realized that the orientation of the rack and the power steering pump, they were just at two total different positions, and it wasn't going to work just it being straight. So he took this over, he added this 90-degree bend, and he just added the fittings that the previous shop welded. So what the other shop did is they had me cut off my stock banjo fittings off my stock E30 power steering line, and they just welded it onto these fittings that could get screwed onto the hose, and that's pretty much how this was made. So I'll take some pictures of this and I'll get some measurements for you guys in case you guys want to mimic this for your swap. This here is a factory E38 reservoir with a factory E38 supply line. So this right here is the factory E38 supply line. I had to actually bend it just a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I bent it just a bit so I could line it up with the power steering pump. Just needed a little bend, but wasn't anything too bad. Got that to fit right away. And then here is a factory E30 return line. So just what you see in my hand is the actual fitting, and then the hose, I got it from O'Reilly's. I had to extend it just a little bit, and I believe it's a 1/2-inch hose. I know we use metric size for almost everything on a BMW, but this should do. It almost fits just as tight, and it's not using any kind of pressure. So as long as the clamp is tight enough on both ends, it shouldn't leak anything. So yeah, that's my whole power steering setup. I think I only spent about $170, $180 on this. Got this M60 power steering pump from the junkyard. Got this hose at O'Reilly's. Got this fitting at the junkyard. Got the E38 reservoir and E38 supply line at the junkyard, and then I had this one custom made by a shop. So overall, not too bad, but shout out to my friend for being able to figure this out for me, because I was about to scrap that idea and just start bending a factory E30 one that I got from the junkyard as well. I was about to bend this, but he was able to get this figured out for me. So luckily it fits perfectly on the car. So now I'm gonna actually install it and just show you guys how it fits on the car. It'll probably make a lot more sense. So let's go ahead and install everything back onto the car. Alright, so there's all the power steering lines installed. I'm not gonna bolt them down all the way because I still have to take out the engine so we can bang in the headers. So I don't know if you guys could see it in the video, but the headers are hitting right there on the steering shaft. I think it's way too hard to see, but headers are hitting right there. So I already have them marked down exactly where I'm gonna bang them in, but I did just want to show you guys all my power steering lines and this whole setup. So there it is. High pressure one is right here. This is the factory E30 return line. We have our supply line coming from the top. This one was a little bit difficult to get in since I might need to bend it a little bit more, but if you get it at that right angle, you'll be able to screw it in. But it took me quite some time to get this one in. But there's all the power steering lines, guys. This is very simple. I think once you get this high pressure one made, this is like honestly like the biggest problem. I am going to be taking this off right now, unfortunately, since I do have to take out the engine, bang out those headers, and we'll see how it is. But first, let me do this one real quick. Alright, so the power steering system is finally complete. We have all that stuff done, so that's another hurdle done with this project. I honestly thought it was gonna be a lot harder, but it wasn't that bad, honestly. Once you get that high pressure hose made, everything else is literally like a smooth sail. So I'm glad the power steering is knocked out of the way. Now the only thing we have left to do in this video is going to be banging the headers, and hopefully we can get these things to fit. So I'm going to pull the car out a little bit. We're going to get the hoist, we're going to pull out the engine, and we're going to heat up the headers and see if we can make the headers fit on the car. If we can get the headers to fit on the car, guys, I have a feeling this swap is going to be done very soon, because after this it's literally going to be getting the whole engine assembled back together, getting the transmission on, installing everything else, and I think we should be done with this swap. So let's go ahead and start taking out the engine and see if we can bang those headers in. Guys, here's the first round of banging in the headers. I think that should be pretty good, but we're gonna test fit it. It looks pretty flat if you guys look at it from this angle. It's literally just this part right here hitting on the shaft. So I'm gonna put it in again and see, hopefully it clears it. If not, we'll bang it in a little further, but yeah, not too bad. So let's go ahead and throw it back in. Alright, so I got the engine back in the car, and it did clear it about, I would say, like 1/4 of an inch. However, I don't know if it's safe enough to actually leave it like that, because I still have to heat wrap it, and then that's gonna just only make it thicker. And then also when the engine is under load, it's probably gonna be rocking back and forth, so it might be a little too close. So I think I'm gonna pull it out again. I'll probably pull it out tomorrow and then bang it in a little bit more. I know this is probably not the right way to do it, but it was just one of those things that were just holding me back from just progressing with the swap. But I'm just gonna leave it like this. It doesn't hit at all. I've already like tried putting weight on it on the back and everything, like if it had a transmission, still doesn't hit, and it's clearing perfectly. So hopefully this is good and safe enough to actually drive it like this. But we'll see later on. I think in the next video we're gonna start assembling the engine back together, getting the intake manifold, getting all the wiring stuff put back onto the engine, as well as bolting down the transmission. I'm gonna be ordering some parts as well. I'm gonna be getting the clutch slave cylinder, I think an E34 reservoir tank that's gonna be mounted on top of the engine, as well as coolant hoses. I have to get the Mishimoto radiator, a lot of stuff, but honestly, it's not too far away from actually being able to start it. If I get the intake manifold back on, bolt the transmission on, we should be able to do the wiring, and then we should be able to actually fire up the engine. I already have fuel lines. I need to extend all that stuff, but it's really not a big deal. But some really good progress made, and I'm just so happy that we got over like the brake booster, power steering, headers look like they might be okay. A lot of good stuff coming, guys. But I'm gonna end the video right here since it's already getting pretty late. So if you guys want to stay tuned with this project, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, and also follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting there before I actually publicly make my videos. My videos usually take like about a week to actually make, just because this is such a precise job, and I just don't want to put any videos out there that are gonna be like just a mess, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys stay tuned, leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.